Hi everyone and welcome back to Wbel. So here we have the standings for the Enthusiast division. So in first place we have Jesus with 5 points. After this we have GB with 4 points, Shadow with 3 points, and with 2 points Itomanpr, Isvar, Chisei, Ksaun, Sandrooster, Iceheart, and finally Ram9 with 1 point. Everyone is really close in the standings, and I imagine that all those players are going to put everything on the line because the playoffs is shaping up. So let's see how this went today.
For this matchup, we have Jesuslbl versus Chisei. So for Jesuslbl, I am fully expecting a return of the Bart's Warrior of Light Uni team. I think this map is just way too good for that team. Bart has enough time to get off his buffs, Warrior of Light has enough time to get out ahead of the team, and Uni can dish out some damage from the backlines while being well out of range from any of my team. I think that team is terrifying in general, but on this map even more so. So I'm really hoping he doesn't bring it, though I'm fully expecting that he does. As far as my team goes, I'm going to be making a return of the glove team. So far I'm 2 for 3 in the league, and both of my wins were with the glove, so I figured, hey, if it's working, let's just keep rolling with it. But not only that, Garvel can get a barrier, Summer Helena has courage. They can both get pretty decent unit res between 30 and 40 with the survival vest, the new glove, the Odin VC. So I'm thinking that they can survive a hit from Bart's, but I think that the whole match is kind of dependent on that. If I can survive a hit, I have a good chance of hanging in there and maybe winning. If I can't, well, that's how this team goes. So let's get into a match and see what ends up happening.
Alright, so here we have Chisei against Jesuslbl. So on Chisei's side we have Helena, Garvel, and Murmur. On Jesus' side we have Warrior of Light, Bart's, and Uni. So let's see how brutal it is.
It's the exact team I predicted, and to no one's surprise. Like I said during my predictions, my main thing is if I can survive and get into his space, I think my Helena and Garvel have the damage to be able to do what they need to do. But if I can't close that gap before I get taken down, then man, it's a rough one for me. So let's just see what ends up happening. He gets his standard buffs off. There comes out the Clean Blade, and here comes the first arrow fall. Only 400 damage, and no follow-up buff from Bart's yet. So not really anything too concerning, except that means that my Murmur's haste will not go off. So
Yeah,
I'll
but
still
they're
get the
going
unit
next.
res off. But yeah, this is going to be... Oh, and this is super rough because Crystal Braver is a 3-hit move, which breaks his barrier.
Oh!
And then the follow-up, 7,000. So, yeah,
Gosh.
not looking great. And then here comes the arrow fall at the other follow-up. And
That's so
better
dumb.
than I hope. Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough one. So Helena, and like I think she was one space away from being able to hit all 3 of them. So unfortunately, I was only able to reach the Warrior of Light, and then yeah, it's Murmur's a great unit, but it's kind of curtains.
Yes, okay, so the key of the match is Bart's.
Yeah. To no one's surprise. Well, I mean, hey, Murmur still has a she still has a chance.
Oh well.
Anyways.
I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. It was expected. Like I said, it was a fun match, especially getting to talk to Jesus and I'll laugh with him the whole time around. We actually even had a spectator this time around. But no, yeah, it was a fun match. Had a good time, and like I said, it went just how I expected. I would have been interested to see how much damage Helena would have been able to do if she was able to reach and hit all 3. Yeah, because usually when Helena with her new LB upgrade is so incredible that it ends up like capping a lot of the times. But unfortunately, like I said, I was just 1 or 2 squares away from that, and yeah, Jesus took it down with his amazing team. So yeah, definitely a GG's over to Jesus there.
Well, there's nothing much to say.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it kind of went as expected.
Well,
yeah, not too much.
GG to Jesus.
Yep, GG's. For this matchup, we have Isvar versus Itomanpr. And right off the bat, if you take a look at both their rosters, you'll notice something kind of funny. Both players have 5 units in common with each other, with 3 of those units being tier 1 units. And that does a lot for the matchup dynamic here. So I'm really excited to see what they actually end up bringing in the match. But as far as my predictions are concerned, for Isvar, I'm predicting Flagbearer Glaciella, Little Leela, and because it's an Isvar team, I'm contractually obligated to include Elder Leonis. So for Flagbearer Glassy, she's an amazing unit, I don't need to tell you that, but she's mostly there to hedge against a King Bradley choice from Itoman. But the Little Leela, same reasoning, she's there to hedge against any sort of magic damage coming out from Itoman, most notably the Kefka. And Elder Leonis, he's there to, I guess, look pretty and just sit there. I'm just kidding. He is an amazing tank if you can get up his LB, and he can dish out some serious damage as we saw last week. So he could be really good, especially if Itoman brings out any ice units, which transitions me over to his predictions. And I'm going to be predicting Flagbearer Glaciella, Victoria, and Surgis. So Flagbearer Glassy, same reasoning. Isvar also has a King Bradley, so she's there to hedge against that. And then for the supporting cast, they're there for Isvar's Flagbearer Glaciella, which is kind of funny because Isvar has the Elder Leonis, which could be there for the ice unit. So there's that whole back and forth there that if both teams are played out the way that I predicted, I think that could be a really fun and interesting match. But let's get into the match and actually see what they ended up choosing.
Alright, so next match we have Itomanpr against Isvar. So on Itomanpr side we have Kefka, Moore, and Murmur. On Isvar side we have Olde, Glaciella, and Valade. So let's see how it went.
So I was way off on what Itoman's going to bring. I'm actually excited to see this team and how it goes. Going for the double glove team over on Itoman's side. And then for Isvar, pretty close, but going with the Valade instead of the Little Leela, which I'm actually surprised to see, because I think Little Leela would work out really well here, but Valade is also an amazing unit after all of his buffs, being an exceptional support. So I don't think that this was a wrong call at all. But right now, getting off some of those key buffs, giving more of the hate, which makes sense, because we probably want to have her more in the front. She has her re-raise, Kefka has his. That's going to be a really hard team to bring down unless Glaciella decides to use her. I think it's Spear of Sending that has re-raise removed. But anyway, she has her haste up, which is also really big. And the agility up buff from Valade. So that's going to be one very speedy Glaciella. And King Old,
he doesn't have the range,
which is good. He gets off his other buff.
Yeah, because and otherwise I think that Moore was in trouble.
Yeah.
She's not really bulky. So we have LB coming from from Moore and silencing that all day, but that won't matter because he's not a magic user. So now we have Kefka. Wasting that LB on that all day. I think it's really great for Isvar side. But now Isvar is down from 1 unit, so that Kefka really has to die now. So now we have Glaciella coming next. Dispelling per fight. Okay, so that unit resist really helped because she only lost half of her health. So now we have full life coming in that all day and it's working. Nice. So he's now he now has a full life team. So
and the Spear of Sending with the re-raise remove.
Yeah, Glaciella lapping and killing that more in one go. So now we have Murmur going next and Kefka. He doesn't have his LB anymore. So Forsaken, not a lot of damage, but a lot on that LD though. So now all day going again. Not much damage on that Kefka. So recovered some HP. Okay, so that's funny.
Wow.
Because of that, he's not dead.
Yeah, so, this King Eld is tanking incredibly well.
Yeah. So Glaciella going again. She did a lot of damage this game and she's continuing it.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I didn't even notice Kefka losing his re-raise there. Did he not get it off? I thought he did earlier on, but I must have missed that. But anyways, wow, that was impressive. Because I was wondering why Glaciella wasn't using her Spear of Sending again, but I guess she didn't need it.
Yeah, Glaciella was a massive for our damage, but that all day and Valade combo was also really great. It was really well executed on Isvar's side.
Yeah, and like I said, I was surprised he didn't bring Little Leela out to begin with, but I mean, it just goes to show that Valade was an amazing choice. Like you mentioned, the combo of those two, King Eldred was tanking so much better than I ever expected him to against a fully magic team. So, I mean, Isvar is turning me into an Eldred believer.
It still took a lot of damage, but with the full life, he still took like 4 or 5 hits because of this.
All I gotta say is, if I'm using King Eldred, mine's getting damage capped from the first hit. Like, I'm not building him as nearly as well as how Isvar did. So that was, from my stance, pretty impressive to only be taking like 4 or 5k a hit. But yeah, that was very well played from Isvar.
Key of the match is Glaciela or that full life on the old day.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think the full life from Eldred really helped Glaciela get in there, because she barely got hit that whole match.
Yeah.
She only got hit once, I think. So yeah, Eldred doing his job, tanking out that damage, and I think that full life really helped him continue to do that.
Alright, so GG to both players, and congratulations to Isvar.
Yep, GG's to both players.
And Itoman, you suck.
Jerk. For this matchup, we have Shadow91 versus Sandrooster. On Shadow91's side, I'm predicting a Perrine, Eliza, and Uni. I think this map is decent for ranged units. Not the best, but I think it's still really good. And if Perrine can be a frontline unit, she won't be able to generate hate, but at least she'll be out in front of the ranged units and being able to dish out some really good damage on her own. And also, with them being ice and water, they have 2 Dark Espers that they can synergize the VCs off of. And ultimately, I think it would be a very strong team to run. And on Sandrooster's side, I'm going to be predicting the Howl at the Heavens Blade, Miranda, and Murmur. I think this is one of the strongest multi-purpose red mage teams you can build right now. Maybe Ferris has an edge over Howlet, but either way, I think they're both really, really strong. But by running Howlet, you have the elemental advantage against a June, and you can also build more ice res by being an ice unit himself in case you want to hedge against the Eliza. With Miranda being there to help take out a potential rain, I think that this team could be very strong coming out from Sandrooster as well. Let's get into the match and see what they chose.
Alright, so here we have Shadow91 against Sandrooster. So on Shadow's side, we have Velis, Perrine, and Uni. On Sandrooster's side, we have that classic red mage team, Murmur, Miranda, and Ferris again. So let's see how this one went.
Right off the bat, I want to comment that I did not predict this team coming out from Shadow, but I do like it much better than the team I predicted, because I didn't think about the fact that Uni was going to be such a massive choice here. With both Miranda potentially giving Quicken and Murmur being one of the best low-cost red mage units to be able to give the haste with fast cast, I think Uni's arrow fall is going to just be massive and making sure that his team stays hasted. Oh, wow. And there it is.
That's a lot of damage too.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's more damage than I expected to see. The reflex. Okay. That was unnecessary, but nice. That's huge.
So area resist.
Velis in range? Oh my god. Okay. It's a reflex fiesta today.
That's a good exchange of good procedure.
Yep, it is. And actually, because of Murmur getting out so quickly, Velis wasn't able to put haste on Perrine.
Surviving with only a few HP is very big. Oh, that's a lot of damage on that Miranda, so heal back. So Velis, is he going to attack? No, probably no healing, of course. So now we have Perrine going forward, probably killing... No, not even killing that Miranda. Okay, that's really huge. So now we have Murmur going forward, but is Velis going to attack? Let's see. So now Ferris, she's pretty far. And Uni going again. Oh, arrow fall, not surviving. All right. So Murmur, no, sorry, Velis, magic reflex. Damn.
Wow.
And Flare to kill that Uni.
Yeah,
that's
finally.
a lot of damage. So Perrine probably killing that Murmur. Yes. So Velis probably going to attack. It's going to be a first for him in the game.
He tried twice, but finally on the third try.
So Ferris going to attack. her LB. Alright, so CT down for the opponent and CT up for herself. Ooh, a lot of damage on that Ferris, but not much on that Perrine though. So Ferris, oh, she's lapping, damn. Parrot on stall, killing a Ferris. Oh, that's big. And healing herself. Okay, big. So heal back at least coming from Perrine. So it can go on all sides now, but Perrine's has the first attack. So 5k, it's a lot. Oh, she lapped. She lapped.
What?
Oh, and chain with herself. Oh, that was big. Oh, yeah. Wow.
I'm telling you, these matches this week have made me more speechless than like every other week combined. This is crazy.
Yeah, that was a great week. There was a lot of 3-0s this week. At least there have been like 4 matches that were completely crazy that could have went on every side.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one, like I said, I was thinking like Shadow had this in the bag from the beginning. And then it went back and forth like 3 different times that whole match, where I had no idea who was going to win. And when it came down to just Ferris and Perrine, I think it's funny too. I think they both had like exactly 49 AP, so they were like both healed up, both 49 AP. I'm like, I don't know which one's gonna come out on top. But yeah, Perrine being able to chain with herself was huge, because if that didn't happen, Ferris, can deal her attack and heal herself back up, and I think she wins the sustain battle. So yeah, that lapping at the end was massive for Shadow.
Yeah, and Sandrooster was also happy to have a very bulky Murmur that was able to survive a lot of hits thanks to reflex.
Good old reflex. Uni did the 1 and Murmur was like, all right, I'll do you better, and I'll do 2. So.
All right, so GG's to both players, and congratulations to Shadow.
Yep, GG's to both players. In this matchup, we have the Battle of the Nines, JB79 versus Ram9. Looking at both of their team compositions, I can see a whole litany of teams that both players could bring, which means I probably have about a 0% chance of getting this correct. But let's get into it and see how well I do. For JB79, I'm going to be predicting the Summer Jaden, Charisse, and Marielle. I think this map works decently well as a ranged map. It's not the best, but I think that there's enough length to it. There's a little bit of cover in the back, and honestly, there's enough time for your tank to get out in front and take some damage. So I think that this could be a really strong team comp coming out from JB79, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it. From Ram9's side, I'm going to be predicting the Ferris, Delita, and Murmur team. I think Ferris is a really good unit, and there's no elemental counters coming out from JB's side. Also, Delita has the really important silence on the LB, which takes out a lot of JB's top units with Summer Jaden, Jaden the Celebrated, and Kefka if he decides to bring those. I think that would be a strong duo, and then Murmur is just an all-star of a unit, the most picked unit in the league, being able to give haste and also deal out some good damage, or even have her heal if that's what you want. So ultimately, I think that would be a really strong team from Ram9 as well. Let's get into the match and see what they ended up choosing.
Alright, so here we have Ram9 against GB79. So on Ram9's side, we have a water team, so Ferris, Glaciela, and Murmur. On GB's side, we have an ice team, so Jaden, Marielle, and MacLeod. So let's see how it went.
Alright, over here on Ram9's side, we have the double water coming out with the Ferris and Glaciela. We've seen this Glaciela put in tons of work in the past weeks, and so I expect it to do the same this match. Over on JB's side, we have the Ice Jaden, who also has put in a lot of work, most recently against me. So the double Ice Spear team coming out from Jaden. I saw the Pierce attack up buff coming out from MacLeod. Bravery down, which will be huge on Marielle because she has her long-range arithmetician attacks, which against Ram9's double physical team, if she can get off some Bravery down, that could definitely neuter some of his damage.
Yeah.
Glaciela and Ferris both with haste buffs, which is going to be really important for the first engage here, making sure that they get as many turns as possible, because as of right now, JB does not have any haste buffs going into the fight, so his team will be a little bit on the slower side. And then JB coming out with the first hit of the match. Wow, that was actually quite a bit more than I had expected.
Yeah, and both players started one in front of another again.
Yep, and so maybe there weren't as many buffs that got off as they wanted to, but they both did get a nice time to buff in the beginning. Oh,
We
and
have
the
a big one
stun.
there, 5k damage and a stun. Now we have Ferris going forward. What is she going to do? So Pirate on Slug, a lot of damage on both units,
Wow.
and an AP recovery. Next we have Jaden. What is he going to do? So an LB. Let's see what's the amount of damage. So we have okay, about 4k. Not so much on that Glaciella, so she's really taking it very well. Now it's our counter, Armor Piercer. Whoa! Killing both units. So
Oh,
now we
man.
have Ferris. What is she going to do as a response? So another LB. Alright. Cool animation. Okay, so so Jaden still had this barrier, of course, so he didn't take any damage. Oh, it's she lapsed, so she's going again.
Oh,
And
man.
Pirate on
this is
Slug.
rough.
Oh, yeah. So a little more than 2k damage. So Glaciella going again. She did a lot last time, and she's still doing a lot. So that Jaden is nearly down. Now Fast Cast coming on Murmur. Impaling Wave, killing that Glaciella is
Ooh,
going to,
okay.
to be big. A little HP recovery, which is big. Ooh, Spirit Breaker, so that Jaden is one hit away from dying, and it's a 2v1. So Fast
Yeah,
Cast,
both
now
he-
she's going to lap.
Yeah, that's true.
So a basic attack coming from Faris, and it's enough to kill that Jaden.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
both units at the end had no AP, but I mean, like I said, Jaden was just one hit away from death, so it didn't end up mattering for the Ferris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good game from both players. That was really exciting to watch.
Yeah, both players starting one in front of another again, so we had another super big clash.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was wondering, like maybe Jaden had another buff to recover some AP that he wasn't able to get off in time, because running out of AP, probably didn't end up mattering much at the end there, but I mean, there was a chance he could have hit both Murmur and Ferris at the end, and he was doing a lot of damage, so he might have been able to one-shot both of them, but unfortunately, for his last hit, he didn't have enough AP.
Yeah, both tier 1 units used their LB, so they had low AP at the end. And even if Ferris recovered AP 2 times on her last turn, I think she only had like 7 AP.
Yes, yeah, she only had 7 AP. So yeah, it was a slugfest, and at the very end, like I said, I think the haste ended up mattering quite a bit. We saw her Ferris lap, and I think Glaciella actually on her when she did her attack that killed both units, she might have also lapped there at the end too. So I mean, speed coming out from Ram 9 side was really important in that match.
So I think that the key of the match was the damage coming from that Glaciella. She did that ton.
I tend to agree. Yeah, that one move where she finished off the Mariel and also the McLeod in the same attack. That, I mean, it turned a 3v3 into a 3v1. So I probably have to give that the key of the match as well.
It opened the way. So
Yep.
GG to both players, and congratulations Ram 9.
Yep. GG to both players. For this matchup, we have Ksaun versus Iceheart. So for this matchup, it's a little funny because these two teams are kind of mirrors of each other. Whereas Ksaun's team is very heavy on the physical damage, Iceheart's team is very heavy on the magical damage. Unfortunately for Iceheart, I think this favors Ksaun a little bit for one reason and one reason alone, and that reason is Rain. Rain has the elemental advantage against Iceheart's main physical damage unit, and also can just build magic res for the rest of her roster. So because of that, I'm going to be predicting Edward Elric, Rain, and Revelka. I already mentioned why I think Rain is kind of the star of this team, but Edward Elric is not to be outdone because he has crazy damage, guaranteed hits in case Iceheart goes the evade route, has Barrier Breaker in case of the Halloween Lucia, and he's just an amazing unit. So what more can I say? Over on Iceheart's side, I'm going to be going with the Dark Fina, Halloween Lucia, and Zazan. Dark Fina and Halloween Lucia is a terrifying duo, and for once this league, she doesn't have a very hard counter in the terms of like Little Leela or Naya, so I think this would be a decent time to bring them out. Being able to get Keen Blade from Zazan to get some more buffs off, having insane damage and survivability between those two units, I think that would just be a really good team to bring here. But let's get into the match and see what they both chose.
Alright, so here we have Ksaun against Iceheart. So on Ksaun's side we have Vega, Muraga, and Durando. On Iceheart's side we have Elena, Miranda, and Murmur. So let's see how it went.
All right, coming out from Ksaun, we have the Axe team. It's my favorite one to see. It is not one that I would have expected to see in this matchup, but I'm still glad to see it regardless. That being said, Durando and Moraga, not known for their magic resistance.
No.
So I am curious to see how they're going to do against Iceheart's team right here. Sweetheart Miranda putting up that physical shield, which is going to help against Ksaun's all-physical team. Moraga getting off his courage. And one thing, like I said, I'm curious to see how evasive Iceheart's team might be here. Because Elena is definitely in a unit that can be pretty evasive, but I don't know if she's going full on for just the light attack with maybe a little bit of evasion, or going full out into that evasive route. But I guess we'll see once the damage starts coming out here.
So
Elena getting her courage.
Yeah, so it's full group buff coming from Iceheart at the start. They are not going forward at all.
Yeah, they're getting a bunch of buffs off. Like I said, there's physical barrier, courage, re-raise, haste. I mean, it's a good buff rotation. And goes to show there's that physical barrier coming in clutch, not doing a lot of damage.
We have Durando going forward. He's not very mobile though. And next we have Elena. Surprisingly well tanked by this Muraga. So he's now at half life. And now we have Miranda. What kind of level of damage can she do? Oh, but Elena's laughing. Going on courage, so it's probably dead now. But we have Vega. What is he going to do? Mortal Severant. Oh, wow. Ooh. So about 90% of the health of Elena is going right away. Okay, so that was a way overkill on that Muraga. Miranda's going next, so what is she going to cast? Now we have Durando going forward. So Surge Strike. Okay, so now Elena only has 1 health. Murmur, Night Blessing. Oh, that's huge. Ooh, all around shield plus healing. Now Oli, not much damage on that Vega. Elena's going again. Man, our team is really fast.
Yeah, very fast. Both have haste, and then lapping with each other, just going crazy.
Oh wow. Vega survived. Okay, he really needed to survive. So Miranda, what is she going to do? Probably an AoE. Okay.
It might be another holy.
Yeah, but Vega's going before. Oh no, it's going for the Elena. That's kind of huge, but if... Okay, so it's only aiming that Durando. So Durando's dead. Okay, so everything can happen. Jamming. Oh, I miss! Oh, that's huge! Oh, but Miranda's going first, but she is channeling something, so Vega still has 1 goat. So what is he going to do? Oh, his LB is one Berserk! Oh, that's huge!
That could be massive. I didn't see a Berserk immune.
On both units!
My goodness.
What a fight! Oh. And she doesn't have the range because of all those dead bodies.
Yeah. And like I said, I think this is an evasive team coming out from Ksaun. I was wondering why Miranda was just using Holy. And I think that this is all evade. This is spicy.
Another miss? Oh man.
Elena must have just had crazy accuracy. But oh my goodness.
Yeah, that new log VC for Axe is really huge.
Yeah, it's coming in huge here. Oh, but she lived, and she's not berserked anymore.
Lived, yeah.
This is the last, but she's gonna channel Holy. Oh no, she cured herself.
Oh, Kurada! Oh, that's huge.
Wait,
he's not able to kill her. It's going to turns.
Maybe she might channel a Holy here instead, or maybe another cure. Yeah, another cure. Yeah, I think it's turns. Oh my gosh! Wow.
Oh wow.
Oh.
And yes,
another match where I'm just like out of words.
Yeah, absolutely. And the friend request is sent.
The important part of the match. So, okay, I was very confused in the beginning there why Sweetheart Miranda was just channeling Holy every time. I'm like, Elena had like 3 hit chains, ready for Sweetheart Miranda to just capitalize on. But all she did was just cast Holy, and I was like, why? I mean, I never would have thought that team would have been evasive, or evasive enough that Sweetheart Miranda wasn't able to hit. So that was huge.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense now. Because
Yeah,
I
and
was wondering, there was a time where she could have killed that Vega alongside the Rondo and she didn't win for it, but now we know why.
Yeah, that was definitely an evasive team. And I think, if I remember right, Sweetheart Miranda is one of the least accurate units there. So, because Elena was able to hit them with no problem, but Sweetheart Miranda and Murmur were both struggling there at the end against the Vega. Yeah, that was a spicy match.
There's so many things to comment on. First, we have the Vega that barely survived and then applying a Berserk on both units and still drops the game even if he's dodging all the hits afterwards. That's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, it was unfortunate that I think at the very last hit there he ran out of AP. But I don't think it was enough to kill Sweetheart Miranda, 'cause I think she just used Cure Out on herself. But yeah, man, it was close, because I think Vega was winning the damage race if he had the AP. But yeah, the turns ended, and then yeah, ran out of AP as well.
Yeah, and Miranda finishing fight with the Velis strategy, which is to heal herself to death. But it worked.
Hey, if it works, yeah, I was like, if it works, maybe. And that's actually something I'm curious to know, because I don't know if she has that healer AI. I think it's offensive, but my guess is that she probably ran out of holies. She might have just used up all of her holies and didn't have anything that would hit, and so she just used Cure. So, but maybe she also has that AI that she'll heal when she gets low. I haven't used her, so I'm not sure. But man, that was, either way, it was a crazy match.
I don't know what is the key of the match.
Oh man, this is hard to say.
I would have give it to Vega.
I know, I do too, because that from Vega, like you said, I don't want to give key of the match usually to the losing team, but that Vega with the Berserk, that almost won him the game right there. It took him from being like completely out of it back to in the game. So I would say probably my key of the match overall, probably the Vega Berserk. But I would say, I mean, just Elena's damage though, I was actually pretty surprising, because at the start it didn't look like it would be a lot, but she was able to clean up pretty well. And the speed. Maybe yeah, my key of the match for Iceheart is probably the speed, just lapping with themselves. And like I said, Elena chained with herself once during this fight. That was crazy.
I have to give it to the single target resistance to Miranda, because it's what allowed her to survive during the rest of the fight.
Oh, that too, yeah. Yeah, a lot of just, like I said, this is one of the more interesting matches, so I was real excited to see this one.
So yeah, Ksaun, you promised that it was going to be a very nice match, and it really was a crazy match.
Yeah, it delivered for sure.
Yeah. Alright, so GG to both players, and congratulations to Iceheart. I think it's her third wins in a row?
I think so, that sounds right. Yeah, GG to both players, and congrats to Iceheart.
Yes. I told you that the Enthusiast Division video was going to be as sick as the Blind Division one. So we have there an even more tight standing. So we have Jesus with 6 points, GB and Shadow with 4 points, Isvar and Iceheart with 3 points, and we have Itomanpr, Ksaun, Chisei, Sandrooster, and Ram9 with 2 points. So just as on the Blind Division, absolutely everything can happen. Everyone can make the playoff. Wow, that's really nice to see, honestly. Those players are so good. This division is so stacked. It's going to be really entertaining, and we're going to see really heartbreaking matches until the end of the season. So thank you all for viewing, and I really hope that we're going to see you next week. Have a nice week.
Itomanpr, you suck.